We're almost there. There's just one final section to explore, the Council's recommendations for how to fix things. One more time, engagement, cooperation, and enforcement. The trifecta of what's needed for this licensing regime to work. Recommendation 1 is a massive increase in police and council resources. That's the enforcement part. We'll let the council argue against themselves here. As they already stated, additional partnership action relating to the compliance and enforcement of this regime will continue. However, this will be subject to other policing priorities not taking precedence, and this approach is unlikely to be sustainable in the long term. Why unsustainable? Well, already Westminster is the most dangerous borough per capita in London, with 298 crimes per 1,000 people. That's 260% higher than the national crime rate. Already back in 2017, the Metropolitan Police was accused of giving shoplifters the green light after stating it was going to ignore most cases of low-level crime. Since then, the rental and cost of living crises have hit hard. These kinds of crimes have increased, meaning that the police simply don't have the resources needed to add to their workload. As the report stated, the police were approached to support our officers in undertaking their role. Whilst these requests were made, the police had other significant priorities that took precedence over the enforcement of illegal buskers. In fact, the report even claims that council officers told police officers that buskers had physically threatened them, and still the police refused to act. In other words, criminals who are refusing to stop committing an actual crime and who have physically threatened council officers while in the middle of committing that crime could still not motivate the police to act. That is how little regard the police have for the new regime. I mean, of course, they don't care that Covent Garden is still going on like it has done for centuries, and nowhere in the 114 pages of this report do the authors describe why or how that opinion would change. And to make matters worse, just a couple of weeks ago, the news was reporting that Suella Braverman has demanded that the police stop twiddling their thumbs and begin investigating every theft. Well, unless the council rebrands street performances as theft, this would appear to make police enforcement even less likely. A side point here is that Westminster has inadvertently turned street performance into the borough's most commonly committed crime. None of the street performers on the West Piazza and Magic Corner have licenses. Therefore, each of their shows is a crime. Just those two pitches account for about 8,000 crimes a year. Add all the crimes committed by all the other buskers on all the other pitches in Westminster, and, well, the already saturated crime rate in Westminster looks like it just got a lot worse. This leads to an interesting question. If individual buskers are flagrantly committing hundreds of crimes per year, in the same locations, in broad daylight, in the centre of the busiest parts of town, on a constant schedule, and if they are even announcing their intention to commit said crimes in advance with the line, "It's showtime," why aren't more of them in jail? And, well, what was the point of this again?